Hi guys, today I'm going to go over how to wrap your wrist for shot puts, or at least how I do it. And I'll start by saying, like, I used to be someone who would use athletic tape, but that stuff costs like $3 a roll now. And if you throw a lot, that becomes expensive because I'll go through a roll at least every practice or every other practice. A few months ago, I switched over to a boxing wrist wrap, hand wrap is what it's called. And one I use in specific is ringside, and this is called the Mexican style. So the difference is this will actually, it has like a little bit of elasticity to it versus just like a stiff, like no elastic, like cotton wrap. And I just feel like this helps me get a little bit more of like a tighter wrap without like completely cutting off circulation until I actually fasten it like as tight as I want, and then I can get that extra support, versus where if I get it tight, it's gonna kind of stay tight through the whole practice. So once you get your wrap, this one's 180 inches, by the way, 180 inch Mexican style hand wrap. Honestly, it's a little bit much. You could probably do whatever if there's a shorter option than 180 inches. But I do like this because I can kind of go farther up my arm, and I don't really have to adjust it as much as the smaller ones. So basically, you'll get your wrist wrap, start with the loop end, and make sure it's facing down. So the down side is gonna be, so that's smooth over the top. This side has like the seam on the bottom. So put the seam facing down towards your wrist, okay? And then I just pinch that with my pinky, okay? And I'm gonna start right at the crease in my wrist, right at the joint. And I'm gonna do a wrap right over the middle of it. So half of the wrap is above the crease and half is below it. Okay. And this, I'm gonna start pretty loose. Not tight, not like super loose, but like I'm not pulling tight at all, okay? It's just going on there as support because this is gonna be on the bottom, okay? And just go over that 2 or 3 times, okay? And then from there, we're gonna start working down the wrist and like 1/2 centimeter increments. If you have a smaller wrist wrap, do bigger jumps, like centimeter down, but this is a lot, so I just go 1/2 centimeter every time, and I go a little bit farther down each time. Okay, so now I've gone as far down as I want to go. So from here, we're gonna start working our way back up. And on our way back up, we're gonna slightly start pulling it a little bit tighter. Not super tight, but just like with a little bit more tension on the way back up, okay? And then we're basically back up to the wrist now. And from here, we're gonna do an even higher. So like maybe a centimeter above where we started, okay? Just to give the wrist extra support in this position, right? Okay, but nothing too tight to where it's not limiting how, getting a good nice flick on the shot, so my hand can still go back, right? That's the most important thing. You don't want it too tight to where your hand can't bend, because then you're gonna be throwing like this instead of getting this extra bit here, okay? So it's gonna be loose here, and then you're gonna go loose, right? So up top loose, now go to the middle, kind of loose, and then the bottom, you're gonna go all the way to the bottom, and then this at the bottom of my forearm, right here, that's where I pull it over the tightest. And basically in between throws, I can just loosen that up, and my hand's not gonna get completely cut off, okay? So right before I throw, pull that tight, because then I still have flexibility here, but I'm also getting the pressure pushing down on the tendon going to my fingers, so it has this springy feeling to it, right? And that's how I wrap my wrist. And now we're gonna get into my warm-up.